So good day everyone. I'm presenting the FSD Group 3 with the title of Next Step, addressing the pattern of violence under the Duterte administration war on drugs by Saul Iglesia. So here are the five critical questions that I'm tackling. So first, what are the main roles that cause people to become violent? So violence can stem from multifacets of roots that include social, economic, and political factors um, in the context of the Duterte administration war on drugs. So some core contributors may include socioeconomic inequality. So ang socioeconomic inequality ay nagdudulot ng mataas na antas ng kahirapan at limitadong oportunidad kaya't ang ibang tao ay napipilitang gumawa ng krimen para makasurvive. So ang ganitong asal ay nagpapalala sa siklo ng karahasan at kawalang tanag na nagpapahirap sa mga komunidad na makalagpas sa kahirapan at mapabuti ang kanilang kalagayan. So political climate, authoritarian na rehime o ang mga may kultura ng unity ay kadalasang milikan ng mga kapaligiran kung saan ang karahasan ay tinatanggap o mas ini-encourage. Halimbawa ng mga patakaran na ito ay nung naupo si Duterte na ang ginawa niya ay ang laban sa droga o war on drugs. Naging normal ang karahasan bilang paraan ng pagpapatupad ng batas na nagresulta sa maraming paglabag sa karapatan ng tao. So, in cultural acceptance of violence, sa ilang komunidad naman, ang karahasan ay tinitingnan nilang katanggap-tanggap na paraan upang lutasin ang mga ditwaan upang makaligtas. Ang pananaw na ito ay kadalasang pinapadaan na mga kwento at naratibo na i-glorify ang mga anyo ng kalulugan na nagiging dahilan para maging normal ang agresibong pag-uugali sa mga gatawang lipunan. So, who are the responsible parties for this violence? The leader or the people who empower the implement? So, both leaders, political leaders, and enforcement agencies play a crucial role in perpetuating violence within a society. So, leaders such as former President Duterte shape the environment and narrative around violence through their policies and rhetoric, like justifying extrajudicial killings. In the context of drug war, they set a tone that can legitimize violent actions. So, however, the responsibility does not end with the leaders. So, the individuals who carry out these policies, such as the police officers, like the PREA or the PNP, they are also accountable, especially if they exceed their authority or engage in abusive practices. So there's no need to be a system of accountability that covers all the level of authority. So this includes both those who create policies and those who implement them. So a proper checks and balances system is essential to prevent the abuses and ensure that power is not misused, promoting a more just and fair enforcement of laws. So next. So how can we ensure the safety of our community and avoid violence? So to promote safety and reduce violence in communities, several strategies can be implemented. So first is the strengthening governance and the rule of law involves creating effective legal and judicial system that can prevent violence. So by holding the individuals accountable for their crimes, this includes setting up independent bodies tasked with investigating human rights abuses, which helps ensure the violations are addressed and perpetrators are brought to justice. So by promoting accountability, such measures contribute to a safer and more just society. Next is the community engagement and empowerment. So dito naman, tinutukoy nito sa aktibo pagsasali ng mga miyembro ng komunidad sa mga proseso ng paggawa ng desisyon na nakakatulong sa pagbuo ng tiwala sa pananagutan. So, sa mga magitan ng programang nakatukoy sa edukasyon, resolusyon ng hidwaan at social services, matutugunan ng mga komunidad ang mga ugat na sanhi ng karanasan. Ang ganitong sama-samang approach ay hindi lang nagpapalakas ng mga individual, kundi pati na rin ng pagkakaisa sa lipunan. So, sa huli ay nag-aambag sa isang mas ligtas na kapaligiran. Next. Promoting social justice. So, promoting social justice involves addressing inequalities and creating opportunities for all, which can reduce the motivations that lead to violence. So, by prioritizing economic development, improving access to healthcare, and enhancing educational opportunities, communities can empower individuals and foster environments where everyone has a fair chance to thrive. So ultimate, it is contributing to more a peaceful way of the society. So next is why did the all this outbreak of hunger when foreigners got involved and why did they not stop with and get killed? So during the 30s administration, tended to react more or criticism from international bodies than domestic citizens. So the international focus on human rights violations, particularly from organizations like the ICC or International Criminal Court. So it increased the pressure to Duterte. So leading to formal end of controversial initiatives like Tophang, domestic issues such as the assassination of Ian de los Santos did not provoke the similar level of response or policy change from the administration. This highlights a significant difference in how internal and external pressures were handled during the presidency. Next. So, the administration's delayed response to the domestic issues such as the outright following Ian de Santos assassination suggests an underestimation of local concerns. This indicates the belief that internal issues could be controlled through propaganda and disinformation. So it highlights the prioritization of international reputation over the accountability to the Filipino people, revealing significant disconnect between the government and its citizens. So, as an individual, how can you protect yourself from accusations you did not commit? So, protecting oneself in an environment where accusations can be made arbitrarily requires a combination of personal strategy, community support, and legal intervention. So, to safeguard oneself in an environment prone to arbitrary accusation, individuals need to adopt the multifaceted approach. So, this involves developing personal strategies to navigate risk, seeking support from the community to foster resilience, unity, and utilizing the legal resources to ensure protection against false claims by combining these elements. So individuals can be better protect their rights and well-being in challenging atmosphere. So implementation, it involves maintaining true and factual record of your activities, communications, and interactions. This practice can be crucial in establishing a personal alibi if you false accusation, as it provides concrete evidence of your actions and intentions at specific times, helping to clarify misunderstanding and protect your credibility. Next is the community network. Yeah, involve creating trust relationships among members of community. These connections can offer valuable support during crisis, enabling the community to respond collectively to adjust actions. When individuals came together, they can share resources, provide emotional support, and advocate the one another. So strengthening overall resilience and accountability. So in a legal awareness, understanding one rights and the legal process that govern them, by educating themselves about these topics, individuals become empowered to effectively defend themselves against wrongful accusation. So this knowledge enables them to navigate the legal system more confidently, advocate for their rights, and seek appropriate remedies when faced with injustice. So in conclusion, Dr. Sol English article critiques the human rights violation under former President Duterte's war on drugs, focusing on the high death toll and discrepancies between official police reports and International Criminal Court estimates. So this suggests a troubling lack of transparency in how these operations were conducted. So Iglesias advocate for investigations into human rights abuses and critique system issues in law enforcement. So he used cases like the killings of Jing Chu and the Ian De Los Santos as an example. The article emphasizes the urgent need for reforms to ensure justice and prevent future human rights violations in the Philippines. So that's it. Thank you.